Hi, my name is Kayla WWW. Our family is the Smith family, and we have two heart warriors. When we found out about both of our boys and their congenital heart disease, one was a surprise. We didn't find out till after he was born. That was a shock for sure. He just stayed a little purple after birth, and I knew that wasn't right. And he had surgery at 3 days old, and he's now about to be 6 in October. Our second one, Ezra, we knew that he had congenital heart disease in utero, and his road has been a lot more complicated than our first heart warriors, but there was also a shock that it was more complicated after he was born, when he had more intense imaging. The day Ezra was born was nice, because he did really great during the labor process. After he was born, got a little crazy, but he stayed stable for a pretty long time until he needed to be transported to Shands because he was so complicated. When EJ was born, we didn't really have time to prepare ahead of time. We were just in a state of shock, and he had surgery at 3 days old and still in a state of shock. But then we kind of acclimated to being at the hospital, or I did at least, and I stayed at Ronald McDonald House. And then we were home in just about 2 weeks after his surgery, so he did fantastic. He had his surgery in Birmingham. Then Ezra, we found out, I think at 18 weeks, that something just wasn't quite right. I knew what EJ's heart looked like when he had his echoes, so when Ezra's, fetal echo happened and they showed it up on the big screen, I was like, ooh, something's not right. I was able to do a little bit of research on what it could potentially be, but they said it could always change after he's born, and they do some more in-depth imaging of his heart and his anatomy, because he also has heterotaxy syndrome. That's a whole other research project in itself. He's got some organs missing and some that are not quite in their normal position, but he's doing great. Who reached out to us about the Healing Hearts Project? It was Stacy Merritt and her family. We were at Hillcrest Baptist Church at the time, and we had a wonderful support with our church family when it came to Ezra and his diagnosis. And the Healing Hearts Project was great. It helped me connect with other parents in the area that had children with congenital heart disease, even kind of talking me through the doctors that we were going to be seeing throughout the process before he was born and after. With EJ, we didn't have such an outlet, so it was really nice having the Healing Hearts Project in the, still growing in the womb stage of Ezra. I'd say really that it's more common than you think. I had never really heard about it until we had EJ. I knew that adults had heart disease, of course, but it never dawned on me that babies could be born that way, because I never knew anybody who did. Really, I would just say that it's more common than childhood cancer in certain aspects, and that when you go to have a child yourself, even if congenital heart disease doesn't run in your family, it probably wouldn't hurt to have that checked out in your scans and such like that. Really, because both of our boys were surprises when it comes to heart disease. It doesn't run in our family as infants, and heterotaxy is not genetic. It's not hereditary. So that was a big surprise when it comes to Ezra. Our family is great. Our family is thriving, even though it's, not your typical normal family situation, possibly being back and forth to the hospital, but having a wonderful support system through our church and through the Healing Hearts Project and the community that they create has been wonderful.